Hey everybody, Steve here. Rules are important. They are the backbone of your universe. What can your heroes and villains do? What can't they do? It's very important to have a set of rules so you know how your superhero universe is going to function. Back in 2018, when I started writing Deadlock, I sat down and I set down a list of things that I thought were good rules for my universe. I know I was writing a book, but seeing as how they're superheroes and it's set in a superhero universe, I still thought like comic book universe, not just book universe. So I had looked at different comic books. I'm a lifelong comic book fan, so it's not like I had to go far to look for them. But I looked through my comic books, past, current, and I thought to myself, what works, what doesn't work, how do I want my universe to function? So I came up with 4 rules, my rules, of how I wanted the evil realm to work. You guys can have whatever rules you want. I'm not laying any rules down for you. Your guy, each one of your universes is unique and different. So if you want to have a lot of rules, by all means. If you want to have no rules, then it's anarchy. I don't know if I'd go as far as anarchy. You know, no one wants anarchy. Anarchy bad. Rules good. So without further ado, I'm going to show you my rules, and you can, after you watch them, discuss in the comments what you think of my rules. Do you like them? Do you don't like them? Do you have any rules in your universe that are kind of unique that you've laid down that you want to share? Share them all in the comments. Love to hear them. All right, let's go. Let's talk rules. Number 1, once you're dead, you're dead. There's nothing I hate more in comic books than having a hero die doing something heroic, dying in a super heroic way, only to come back like a year later. The whatever sacrifice you made that took your life is now worthless. And it doesn't work anymore. There's no stakes. There's no danger. You know, once you step in front of that bullet to save your friend and you die, oh, I don't have to worry about it. In a year, I'll be coming back. It's even worse with the new with what the new X-Men were doing, with the Krakoa stuff, where if you died, they just reincarnated you. I mean, death had no meaning, and that means any kind of significant heroic death has no meaning. And death has to have meaning. Come on. So once my characters are dead in my books, they are dead. There's no coming back. Number 2, no time travel. I love a good time travel story. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I've said it before, I'll say it again. But in the evil realm, we are not going to be doing time travel because it will undo rule number 1. If you can go back in time and undo a death, then that character's sacrifice, or the sacrifice he was going to do, is now pointless. It's meaningless. So no time travel. Plus, it just muddies the waters. It just muddies everything up. You're trying to keep track of all these different timelines. It's just easier not to do time travel, at least in this context, in my books. If you guys are doing now, if you're doing a time travel story, then by all means, time travel the heck out of it. But I think I can get by telling my stories without time travel. And I think I can get by with my number 3 rule. No multiverse. Again, it's just, you can go right back to rule number 1. If there's a multiverse, that means there's another Earth where If you can get there, you can find the character that died, bring him back. Now, you can try to say, well, he's a different character. But you know as well as I do, once you get him in your story, you're going to write him just like the old character. He or she is going to take on the persona of the old character, and it's just going to be the old character again. No multiverse. Plus, once you start getting 5, 6, 7 multiverses, and they all start interconnecting and stuff, now you're going to have a DC comic size crisis on your hands, and you're going to have to have to deal with that mess. Save yourself the headache now. Just abandon the multiverse. I'm a huge comic trope fan. Love the old comic tropes. The tropier, the better. But I think the multiverse has run its course, and we can do without it. At least I'm going to do without it in the Evoverse. That's just on me. My rules. And number 4, don't know how you guys might feel about this. Villains are irredeemable. My bad guys are bad. When they show up on your doorstep and they're doing evil, they're not going to change. They're not going to be suddenly, start saving puppy cats and little kids. The second most thing I hate, other than, having a character come back from the dead, is having a really, really good villain become a good guy. Venom. Venom is a great Spider-Man villain. He could have been Spider-Man's foil for decades. But instead, the powers that be said, you know what? Let's make him a good guy. Let's make him a good guy so we can have comic books about him. And if you want to do that, that's fine. But for me, anyway, villains are the spice of the story. They're the air. You can't have a good hero without a really good villain. Good villains are rare these days. Villains should allow writers to just sink their teeth into their deepest, darkest, recesses and let it out. Let it out in that character. And now your hero has to, overcome your darkness and find really unique and great ways to defeat your villain. When just you don't want to neuter them, which is what Venom's been neutered. Venom's been neutered. There have been countless Batman villains that have crossed over and are now, good guys. I don't like it. For me, in my universe, we're not doing that. Now, anti-heroes. You can have an anti-hero, at least in the evil realm. An anti-hero is a good guy who does not notice any boundaries. A hero in my universe will go up against a bad guy, and they'll go to a certain point. There's a line in the sand that they won't cross. A anti-hero doesn't see a line. He sees a bad guy. He sees the bad guy. He picks up his weapon. No more bad guy. Now, the heroes might look at the anti-heroes as villainous, but they're still doing good. It's just their good is bad. But it's a good bad. So no villains. Those are my 4 rules. Now, I have just introduced magic into my world. And I have a few rules for magic. They're still just in my head. I haven't really pressed the issue much. So I don't have anything hard and fast rules written down for the magic system. Yeah, I will, though. Once I get done with my 3rd book, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to list out all the things the magic can and can't do, if there's any kind of penalties. Magic is going to have its own set of rules. These are the world rules. Do you have any world rules? for your universe? Do you have any good characters can or can't do things? I would really love to hear about them. I'd love to hear about your superhero universes down in the comments if you want to share. I mean, I know writers are weird. We don't like sharing our ideas for fear that we're going to get stolen. If you don't want to share, I got no problem with that. But thanks for listening. I hope you guys are writing well. I hope you're getting your superhero universes down. If you're not a writer and you're watching this, this is what we do. This is what we think about. We wonder about how things might work and write them down. If you're not a writer, hopefully you're a reader. You can read my books. You can get them on Amazon. If not me, find an independent writer, an independent comic book creator, and support them. We are independent. We don't make hardly any money. I make very little money off this. I'll be honest. The royalties I get are like $5, $7 if I'm lucky. I can get that burger off the dollar menu once a month if I'm lucky. So we're trying. We're putting out books and comic books and things, so you guys can have some fun escapist things to read, and take your mind off the world at large, because it's just a dark, ugly, scary place. So don't go out. Don't go outside. Pick up a book. Pick up a comic book, preferably an indie comic, an indie author, and enjoy us and enjoy the worlds we create. All right. Appreciate you guys listening this long. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. If you're still here and you want to check some links down in the description, I have some links for me. You can check me out in other places, some other things I got. And, well, that's all I got.